How do people know to join?
Right here.
Is that the same link though?
Yeah.
If you click that, it takes you to this one.
Oh, that is good because it's just the generic link. So that's good, right?
This is the generic link, yeah. There's no special numbers or anything like that.
I'm just going to look real quick and
We're good to go, ma'am.
nice. So I'll just go live whenever we do it.
Yeah, we're live. Oh,
Wait, let me check. Oh, we are. Okay, perfect. Okay, good morning. Now we are reconvening the special council meeting of the Village of the Hills. It is 9:12 a.m. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We now have public comment period. Members of the public may address the city council during the public comment period on items which may or may not be on the agenda. Speakers must address all comments and questions to the presiding officer and must limit their comments to 3 minutes. Inquiries from speakers about matters not listed on the agenda will either be directed to the staff or placed on future agenda for council consideration. Sir, do you have any public comments?
I do. Congratulations or condolences, depending on how it works out for y'all. As Tom knows, I get 3 minutes. I can easily take that up. But primarily, I want to make sure that Greg Wharton's proposal is on the agenda at some point. I realize, not today, but perhaps the next meeting. And I made an assumption. The proposal is that the city of the Hills, the village, take over the mud. Personally, I have an opinion about it. It doesn't matter right now. I'll wait to hear what the proposal is. And I hope that that'll be aired. And I know you're not involved with it, but maybe at the POA meeting, we'll also have that on the agenda. I'll be over there tonight to bring it up. The annual meeting. The other thing, well, this actually goes to that proposal, so I don't want to say too much about it. But the other thing I would like to say is thank you for a job well done for our local policing. And I have noticed very few recently kids going down the Hills Drive doing wheelies. Evidently you got a hold of that. You found out who it was and had a little conference with them or something, because I sit there in my house watching television or sit in my house. I see the Hills Drive and the scooters, the little girls riding double on the scooters but it's an accident waiting to happen. I don't know if any of you have seen them doing it, but and I certainly don't know what the liability is. But that's really all I had. Is I just wanted to make sure that unfortunately I couldn't print the agenda. I don't have it with me, but I just wanted to make sure that the proposal to switch the mud, which I think is doing a very fine job. Oh, okay. That it be discussed at some point. Thank you.
Thank you. Any public comment for today? Okay, thank you. All right, that concludes our public comment period. Next is the consent agenda. All matters listed under this item are considered to be routine and will be enacted by one motion. It will not be a separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired by any council member on any item, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately. So Angie, we don't have anything.
I know it got cut off, so we can do it next time.
Okay. It was just the minutes,
Minutes,
but
that's all it
I thought that next time. I did send some comments.
Yes.
Okay. Agenda item 6, reports, law enforcement report.
Yes, sir. So for the month of October, we had a total of 117 incidents, and it includes 3 motorist assists, 2 criminal trespass.
Deputy Gonzalez, can you speak a little louder, so she-
So for the month of October, we had a total of 117 incidents, which are assist motorists. We had 3, 2 criminal trespass, 2 suspicious person, 4 civil citations, 11 911 hangups, 26 assist complainants, 3 suspicious vehicles, 14 directed patrols, 2 community events, 2 harassment calls, 1 deceased person call, 2 writ of possessions, and 1 writ of execution, 7 selective traffic enforcements, 1 false alarm, burglar alarm, 21 traffic stops, along with 4 follow-up investigations, 1 assault by threat, 2 collisions, 7 civil citations, and then 1 eviction citation. Again, with a total of 117 for the month of October.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions?
Not a question, but comment. I mean, it seems like probably about 40% lower than typical, right? On traffic stops and overall.
Yeah, so like October was kind of, I knew it was gonna be a little low for us. We had guys on vacation. We had guys that took some time off. And one thing that I have noticed within the past month is everybody's abiding by the speed limit. We've been sitting at the 3-way stop by the hill, making sure people are stopping at the stop sign. One thing I kind of like to do is, all summer and the beginning of the fall, ran a lot of traffic. I mean, kind of how certain things is you run traffic, you hit it hard, kind of give it a break for a minute just to see how people are going to react to it. Like, oh, he's not sitting there, or, oh, they're not doing this today. And then the following month, they're going to be doing some other things that they're not supposed to be doing. So that's kind of how we typically do it. But another thing, like I said, we had some guys on vacation, so we didn't really have too many stops in. So, yeah.
Angie, do you think we should request increased hours for the holiday break?
Yes, I've already discussed
Okay.
it with Constable
Great.
Gonzalez.
All right, Park and Recreation Liaison.
Yes, we had our meeting last night. Good meeting. Had quorum. We discussed the December 6th Santa event. Yeah, I guess we'll vote on that later today. But yeah, within budget, nice program, photographer. I think the YAC is going to cover kind of the majority of the budget. And then as far as we do condition reports, nothing really new other than wood chips were a little light under the swings. But otherwise, everything's in good shape, good hands with the commission.
So did they re-mulch that area, like the wood chips?
Not yet.
Okay,
Yeah, she said that's on the schedule.
great.
Did we ever figure out a water fountain situation?
In what sense?
No, basically, we got an estimate from where Sarah suggested, but they do not install. So I asked Cold on the right and Spicewood to give me estimates. They still haven't sent them in to install it.
Thank you, Angie.
You're welcome.
Okay, POA Liaison. Gets to be Angie today.
Basically, they had a discussion about the wooden fences again. There were several, well, not that many, residents that are complaining about wooden fences, replacing them. They don't have enough money to replace them. POA said they would work with them to get them replaced, take the time to replace them. Also, their emergency keypads are getting installed this week. And their finances are good. That's basically.
Tom, anything else you'd like to add or clarify?
Probably not for this forum.
Okay. And, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I forgot to, because I had a note written down that Starlink was.
Oh, it was.
Friday. Yeah,
That's right.
Cool.
Wi-Fi at the park.
Nice.
Well,
The league is backed up for 2 weeks, so they have us on the schedule. If anything opens up, they will be out there.
okay.
Sorry, one thing I
Yeah.
just got through my notes that would have some overlap, natural overlap is the POA has selected a vendor to do the traffic study at Romans. So that's underway. And so as soon as we get the detail from that, as soon as the POA gets the detail from that, then it'll be shared with.
Perfect.
Also, the POA is moving next door to the little conference room as we speak.
MD Mud Liaison.
Basically, what they discussed yesterday was the rates, the salary increases, the cold weather and safety in reference to their man working in cold weather, what they need to do. Their budget is on track. They're receiving their tax payments already for property tax. Other than that, everything's good.
Excellent. Welcome, committee commission.
So Tuesday, October 21st was our last meeting, and it was followed by our first happy hour. So thank you to the club for supplying some light bites. We had 2 couples and a few singles join the happy hour. Resounding feedback from these new residents that came was that this was the most pleasant welcome and introduction to any community that they've ever moved into. So that was nice to hear. As far as our call log, we are still going strong with 41 of 46 new properties contacted since we started the commission and started doing the phone calls in May. And then, we're happy to have Hayden Albee be joining as soon as we vote him in today.
Thank you. All right, city administrator.
Basically, I've been working with a couple of residents that have issues with their property with not draining their pools, trash on their lawns. We had a couple of evictions that I had to deal with on removing their items from their front lawn. Everything at this point is taken care of. We have last city council member meeting, we had a resident that was complaining about a certain person, a certain resident. That court case is going on today. So we can't actually do anything until that is taken care of.
Okay.
Other than that, we've worked with Constable Gonzalez in reference to the e-bike situation, and we basically sent them to Flint Rock. So Flint Rock has been over here asking us how we did it. Other
Well,
than,
they migrated.
yeah.
They migrated.
We didn't send them there. They migrated over there, and it's the same ones that we had issues with here. So Constable Gonzalez is working on that right now.
Great.
So other than that, we're good.
Okay, mayor's report. So I'd like to welcome back Marty Kate and then formally welcome Tom Harrelson and Gary Wolf to the council. So I look forward to working with you as we push forward the many initiatives that we have ongoing. I also want to extend my sincere thank you to Madison Wickham and Karthik Narellisetti for running. Obviously, our community only functions when residents are willing to step up and get involved. So I hope you both, Madison and Karthik, continue to contribute to the community and the many leadership and committee opportunities available. So now we'll move on to business items. Council will individually consider and possibly take action on any and all of the following items. Item A, approve the finance treasurer's report for October 2025. Angie, is there anything you want to run through on the financials?
It's
Yeah.
just the first month, and we're basically on track. We're not going over on anything that I'm seeing coming through. We do have some expenditures for events, but those were all on budget, so we're under budget and we're going good.
Great. We don't need to officially take action on that. We can move on to item B, discuss, consider, and take any necessary action to approve Singleton, Clark and Company PC engagement letter. That's for our 2020 fiscal year 2025 audit.
Excuse me, Mayor, we do need to take a motion to.
Do we have to?
Yes.
Okay. So back to item A, approve the finance treasurer's report for October 2025. We have a motion.
Motion to approve.
We have a second.
Second.
Any questions or discussion?
Question, just
Yes.
procedurally,
Yep.
since we're.
Yep.
Do we,
Ask away.
do we abstain from voting on this because we haven't reviewed it?
Well, have you,
No,
you can abstain. You can abstain for anything that, yeah, if you have not had a chance to look at that, if you didn't receive the packet ahead of today, given the timing, you can abstain. That's fine.
Yeah, I just don't have anything to opine on.
Yeah. Okay. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? And then 2 abstentions. Right, Gary? You wanted to abstain?
Correct.
Okay, back to item B, discuss, consider, and take any necessary action to approve Singleton, Clark and Company PC engagement letter. Singleton and Clark are our auditors who we've been using. This is the engagement letter that we have to put forth to approve for the fiscal year 2025 audit.
yes, 2025, 2026.
Yeah. The fee for it, let me pull it back up here.
This is worse than my engagement.
I know.
Angie, this is the same
It's
engagement letter that we
it's the
signed.
same that y'all been signing for years. We are going to have different auditors this year.
Different partner,
There's
different partner.
same auditor, different partners that are working on the audit, if it's approved.
Do you recall, is this the same fee as last year's fee?
I believe it's a little bit more.
For reference, it's
12,000.
12,000. Do you have it in front of you? What is
12,700
$12,700?
in this engagement letter.
Yes.
This one, yep.
What was the previous, prior years?
How much do your audits cost? BOA.
But I don't think we,
Don't do, you don't have to do it. Be a bookkeeper.
we have a treasurer, yeah.
Treasurer, yeah.
I think we, I can double check to see what it is. See what that process is.
It was 12,100.
Thank you. Should make a motion to approve.
Yep.
Yeah, and move to improve this engagement letter.
Second?
I'll second.
Okay, any additional questions or discussion?
I would just be curious if they expect it to go up that much every year. Are we going to use them again next year? Or are we past the point of hygiene where we have to pick somebody else?
That's the purpose. We don't have to pick somebody else. Typically, like you would switch, Gary would know this very, you would typically switch audit partners. You would rotate through partners. We've discussed in the past whether we
One or two.
get qualifications from other providers, which we can continue to discuss.
I have a question. Have we ever, it's just looking at like the additional costs that may be incurred. Have we ever had that happen? Have we ever gone over their estimated price?
We did the year before because we had transferred from Tyler to Funview. And we had to get all that corrected and they spent more time trying to figure out what was really needed.
Okay,
So that's the only reason that went over. But now we're on Funview. 2 years.
got it. So no anticipated
No anticipated
additional
question.
charges.
additional charges.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? None. Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, moving on to item C, discuss, consider, and actually I'm going to move item C to the end because we'll move that to discuss in executive session as well. So let's move on to item D. Discuss, consider, and take any necessary action regarding the Travis County Constable's 2025-2026 contract. This is, so our contract that we had signed last year was a 4-year contract ending in 2028. There are annual amendments for increases to get us to market rate. We actually had historically had below market rate, and when we signed this contract, agreed to bring the amount of the contract up to the constable's office market rate over the course of the 4-year contract.
Right.
So this year's is a 15% increase, up to a 15% increase from last year's,
And we're still below market.
and we're still below market.
How is it determined whether it's 0, 1, 5, 10, or 15?
15. I would make the assumption that it would be a 15 every single year. I think that's how they ended up pricing it in. So just,
I guess, how do we know 15 is right?
he's asked, how do we know 15 is the right number? I think we basically just agree. It was agreed to 15 basically each year
Okay.
is the implication. We can we can reevaluate the contract in September 2028. So we're locked in until then. But fortunately, we're still well below market.
Okay, so that's 15% a year.
Yep.
For 4 years. So end to end, we're going to be paying 60% more. And that's a tough one to explain to somebody.
Yeah.
We're way below the market value and that's why it increased.
That was like dramatically to the point where they weren't going to
Services.
redo our agreement because we were locked into a very, very low historical contract.
Mhm.
So that's where that came about.
So we're still at like 120 a year.
100 with the sergeant, it's in there. 100 and
I mean, look at it, it's 11,000 a year, a month.
yeah, total it's 100 and
So didn't we budget
30.
for 2 full-time?
that's the hours budget because we can request. So what happens is we have one full-time constable, Deputy Gonzalez. We have a partial time commitment from the sergeant for his time, and then we request additional hours to go up to that amount. So anytime we have Deputy Gonzalez not on duty, we put out an open, basically an open request for constable hours determined by whomever's available to come out up to our limit.
Why wouldn't we just contract for 2 full-timers?
They do not have the available resources to commit to full-time. So what they would have to do, this was our discussion last year, what they would have to do, they would have to hire a new constable, and they would then obviously have like a fixed cost with a new constable and then an employee on board, which they do not know. They were not comfortable training a full-time constable just for us in addition to Gonzalez. And given the law enforcement shortage, they didn't even think they'd be able to get somebody. And that's part of the reason we're still under budget every single year for our law enforcement, is because of the constraint of additional resources.
Yeah, I remember that conversation. I thought that what we had discussed was that perhaps they would hire someone knowing that they had a commitment for a second FTE.
That was our request.
Okay, and they said no to
Yeah.
that.
They weren't comfortable doing that.
Do you think it's because we're so far below market value?
It's probably a combination of all of it.
Yeah.
I would like 2 full-time constables. I mean, we budget for it. It's a resource constraint. So it's a supply side, not a demand side.
Yeah.
That's
That's a good point, though. I mean, should we consider increasing the budget then to have a more market rate with them? I think we should have a conversation with them about what would it take to get a second full-time.
Yeah. Angie, correct me if I'm wrong, we basically directly asked.
And they said,
Yeah.
there's nothing you can do.
Well, there's not enough constables. They would have to hire somebody
Yeah.
and right now, since police is.
Well, that's what I'm saying is I would ask them, what can we do that would make you feel comfortable to hire somebody?
You'd have to make a very long-term commitment.
Yeah.
And then you would. And the issue is Josh, I think that if you make a contractual agreement with the constable's office, even if it's a longer term agreement, I think that future city councils would be able to not pay basically for the constable if they chose not to have that in their budget.
Yeah, it's very tricky to do multi-year contracts.
Yeah.
So you do sinking funds for the commitments, for the financial commitments.
So we could make a commitment, but it's not a practical.
But aren't we limited to this for 4 years? 4 1-year terms, this updated contract?
Well, this agreement should say that
Yeah.
it's that the council can, we have to have a termination clause, and I don't know if I've reviewed this recently, but it should have a termination clause that says council, it's a non-appropriations clause, basically. That's how you get around the
Yeah, we just
constitutional
don't pay for it.
prohibition. You just say, if y'all don't budget the funds for the contract, then the contract terminates.
So we can say we want to, and then
Yeah.
we could all move on, and then the next council can say, we don't think that's worth the money. And then they're stuck with the constable.
We don't have the money.
Well, yeah, sorry, to say that we don't have the money.
Mhm.
These are all valid things.
I understand that, but does the constable understand that? Like, if we tell
Yes.
them we want, okay, so
Yeah, no, yeah,
he understands the
yeah,
expiration, all that.
that was their concern, was hiring and not being able to fulfill a full-time or a long-term agreement,
Uh-huh.
commitment, not agreement.
Does this
Pledge.
prevent us from renegotiating next year? No,
You're asking me?
kind of asking. you.
I mean, they're going to say that, if you're trying to get more service next year,
Yeah.
I assume it says that y'all can, on an as-called basis, as needed basis, you can request more hours. That's what I hear you
Yes.
saying, right?
Yes.
So the issue is you can go up to the hours you need. It's
We can go up to the hours,
just-
whatever we want.
You can get the hours of 2 full people, but to have a full-time person assigned here, but what I hear you saying is that they don't want to do that because they have all the costs of benefits and everything else, right? Without the commitment.
Then there's,
Commitment.
because then there's cars, radios, because we reimburse for all that stuff. So then it goes back to the discussion, if we're gonna do 300,000+. I mean, what are the implications that we'd all have to discuss and think through?
Currently, we do have officers that come in on their off days, so we technically have two during the day sometimes, or at night.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
And in this agreement, we then in this construct, we also get, it's a variable cost that we can dial up or down. But again, I would, and I guess Deputy Gonzalez, the perception from the constable's office in terms of like patrol hours is they feel welcome to sign up and come and engage and would like engaging, correct?
Right, so I believe we have 6 deputies that come over here and patrol. We have guys that are here mornings on every weekend. We have a deputy that signs up for Fridays and Saturday evenings, 4 hours each shift from 8 to midnight. And then myself and 2 other deputies, actually 3 other deputies, we work after 4 p.m. Monday through Friday as well. So we kind of got coverage throughout the whole entire week and weekend. It's just sometimes like the overnight stuff is where we're kind of like lacking. But myself and another deputy has talked about, especially now since it's the holidays, the rest of this month and maybe possibly even December, trying to work out to where we can do some overnights, like a power shift, maybe like 10 to 2 or midnight to 4, and then just kind of rolling into our normal shift.
Yeah.
Trying to work out some stuff too, especially for the month of December for Christmas.
I mean, from my perspective, I would like to spend our allocated budget on law enforcement. I assume Marty and Brittany and everybody would agree.
Yeah. But if we're looking for 2 full-time, is it like daytime hours? Is that the consideration?
I think it would,
Or is
It would be-
if you aggregate all the hours that you just listed off in aggregate, wouldn't that be the equivalent of 2 full-time people? And then wouldn't that indicate that we're fully
Yeah.
using the allocated budget?
yeah. I mean, there are times when we would like to double up too, though. I think that's effective. Because sometimes people are doing like administrative work or stopping at the front or have to do things, and then people think there's nobody around.
Yeah, and we do have like, so for example, normally on Thursdays and Fridays, we'll have myself and another deputy so I'll be here, of course, during the morning hours and afternoon, and then I'll have a deputy come like around 3 o'clock and work until about 9 or 10 o'clock in the evening. So we're kind of sharing some duties at the same time, because then I'll stay on until about 8, 9, and then he'll finish off like the last 2 hours until maybe 10 or 11.
Yeah.
So there's times where we do roll over, where we do have multiple officers at one time.
So maybe it's, sorry, Gary, go ahead.
It seems like the trigger for more coverage would be a metric like crime.
Yeah.
Yeah, the trigger would be, we got a problem, let's deal with it, versus just adding coverage. Maybe I missed something in there, but
No, there's,
the trigger should be crime or something that that says we need more or
Yeah.
we need less.
well, the continual feedback from the community is bikes, speeders, people not stopping.
Yeah.
And the only way that people have adjusted is seeing the constable around. Otherwise, back to his point, like he'll ramp up enforcement very strictly for a period of time and then see how people adjust. But it's a
Value of
continual.
Presence
Yeah, it's
drives behaviors for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely a continual request from the community that somebody's around basically all the time.
I get it. Yeah.
But I agree. Yeah. I mean, if there was,
If I could just, I don't want to take up a lot of time, but I'm still conflicted with 60% increase over the length of the contract. Yeah, I just feel like if somebody square shouldered me out of the street and said, I heard you guys approved 60%, I'd
Well,
be,
it's
It's not.
over, yeah. it's
I
not.
understand it's over 4 years, but
Well, it's
It's 15% from.
each year, 45.
And 15% of that on top. So it's not 15%.
It's a bump.
annual
It's bumped up.
15%.
It's 15% of the prior year.
Right, so that's 15%, 15, 15, 15, right?
That's three, so it's an increase of, so your end of year one, so 2025, 2026, 2027, 2028, yeah, it's about 60. But that's the agreement that was in play. I mean, we can
Yeah,
discuss
yeah,
canceling.
you
The
discussed
discussion
it.
would then be canceling the agreement,
mhm,
which we could talk about,
yeah.
but that would be what that would come down to.
I need in my mind quantified what below market was and how this contract progression gets us to market, if that's
Yeah.
where we need to be. But
Yeah.
if I got square shouldered out there and I don't have an answer for it, I'm uncomfortable.
That's fine.
Okay,
So we know what our current rate is and we know what the market rate is, right? And we've compared that against the 4 years. So when as we exit 4 years, we'll be at market or
Will it still be a little bit under?
so it'll still be under. So. But we have to get there.
We must have had a really good contract.
No, it was a real, they weren't gonna,
really sweet.
yeah, they weren't gonna renew it.
Sweet.
Yeah, they weren't gonna renew
It
it.
was too good. Yeah.
Okay, do we have a motion? Or do we already make a motion?
We haven't.
Make a motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Any additional discussion?
No.
Again, Gary, you can abstain if you want to abstain on this one.
I think I am going to. I don't have enough information to buy in.
Okay, all right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, all opposed, none, one abstention, motion carries. Okay, item E, discuss, consider, and take any necessary action regarding 2025-17 ordinance regarding the use of the city's logo. This is basically a vendor agreement, right? Regulating the use of the logo. Angie,
Yes.
have we,
I don't have the, oh, never mind. I
and
see it. I see it. I didn't review it, thanks.
So it started out as a request to
Sorry.
use the logo, right? And
yes,
then so we recommended, since y'all did go to all the trouble to develop your logo, that you go ahead and,
have a license agreement.
and then you have an ordinance prohibiting the use of your logo by anybody else without your permission. And then we advise that y'all file for a trademark application on the logo as well.
Okay, because we have a license agreement. Does this a license, city logo license agreement made enter on this day between the Village of the Hills and quote unquote, defined term vendor?
And then, and there's also an ordinance.
That's the ordinance.
There's an ordinance and then there's a separate license agreement.
Yes, and
I see the license.
There needs to be an
Yeah,
ordinance to
license
create the
agreement.
license.
Stephanie should have sent it.
Okay.
Because we have a vendor focused license agreement, which is good. We do need that.
Who would enforce the licensing agreement? Like, say someone's using our logo unauthorized, who would enforce that?
Well, I mean, assuming you had if you decided to create a municipal court, you could give a fine for it. If not, we would have to do a Chapter 54 enforcement, which is the way that smaller cities that don't have like a court, we could civilly enforce it that way. And then if you have the trademark logo, then that's an additional
Right.
way
Right,
that we can
there's-
enforce it.
So it kind of be two avenues of enforcing it or keeping people from using.
Right. I mean, the main ordinance prohibits the use of it, right? And then we have a fine built into it. And once we have those fines, then if we end up having to sue under state law, we can enforce those administrative penalties. But it's not in the packet. So we don't have the ordinance. Right, for the
Okay.
So I think we should push it, but on the license agreement, do we want to have a consideration clause? Is this, what was the catalyst for this? Was it
I don't know if we can
the commission?
discuss the license agreement right now, can we?
Joe McNeil.
I think we,
Right, okay.
in the context of the ordinance, which is not there, but the ordinance would require, just generally, the ordinance requires council's permission to use the logo in the issuance of the license agreement to do that. But I apologize that we didn't. I'm not sure what happened to it, but it should work together with the ordinance and the license agreement once you guys set up that process. The ordinance just says you can't use the city's logo and IP or seal without permission of council or the city administrator. And so once we get that in the books, then the administrative piece would just be every time you need to use a license, you can either pre-authorize Angie in certain situations to approve it. Like if y'all need city merchandise done, I think that was the situation. Somebody needed some city.
No, this is
Merchandise, right?
for the Welcome Commission wants, there's two companies that want to sponsor an item into the Welcome Commission gift basket. So they want to put the Hills logo on
Right.
whatever that product
The
is,
vendor.
along with their vendor logo. Yeah. So that's what I was saying. Maybe there should be a consideration in here of like, you're paying this much to have access to the logo for this use.
Okay, then we probably need to, that's part of the policy that was attached to the vendor, and you guys might want to consider under what circumstances you allow people to use your logo for commercial purposes. I understood it was just y'all needed to get something printed, and the vendor who was making it wanted a license release before he would run the products. But I hear you
Yeah.
saying it's
Not that,
a co-branding
Yeah.
thing that you want.
they can't use the logo. We have a structure right now, they can't use the logo unless I approve use of the logo.
Right, because we don't want our logo ending up on products that are not on brand.
That's true.
Right.
Yeah, so that's part, yeah, I agree with that.
So I feel like I don't know if there's a deadline that it's going to push something back, but we probably need to bring
No,
it back
no
with a full,
Yeah.
like I said, it's done. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened, but there's an ordinance, there's a policy that goes along with the ordinance that sort of talks about when you can co-brand and when you can't. So if y'all want to pre-approve those situations in advance through the policy, and that way not everything has to come back to y'all and Angie can make it easier. And then we did a form license agreement that we'll bring back at the next meeting.
Yeah, so if anybody wants to use a logo, we just need to discuss it and approve it. Okay, excellent. So we can move that to our item E. We'll move to our next meeting. Okay, discuss, consider, and take necessary action regarding the nomination, appointment of council members to the offices of Mayor Pro Tem, council member treasurer, council member secretary, each for 1-year terms. She's not here, but I would like to nominate Sarah Carroll for Mayor Pro Tem.
Second.
Gary, I was thinking and you can make your determination, but I think given your experience and history, I would ask that you consider being treasurer.
I'm all in.
Okay.
Angie and I had a quick chat on it, so I'm all in.
And then Marty, I was thinking, again, this is all up for a vote and people can reject this. I was thinking you could be secretary.
Sure.
I don't know. That's also if anybody else has any thoughts or requests.
Want to be secretary?
I didn't step in front of either of you guys.
No.
Okay.
No, you mean, yes, Gary, definitely. Yeah, that is the most sought after.
How'd you do it, Gary? How'd you do it?
I'll tell you what,
I think those are great nominations.
Second that.
Do we want to do liaisons as well?
It's not on here.
It's not on.
So that's a different.
We'll have to do that. We'll have to, so we've got to we'll have to keep notes for new business. Let me write that down.
if we have a sergeant at arms, I nominate Marty.
And it's on our next agenda for liaison.
Okay, perfect. Okay. Do I have a motion? Do we have a motion appointing Sarah Carroll as Mayor Pro Tem, Gary Wolf as Treasurer, and Marty Kate as Secretary, each for 1-year terms? Anybody want to?
I will motion that.
Second.
Second.
Any questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? None. Motion carries. Thank you. Discuss, consider, and take appropriate action. Discuss, consider, and take appropriate action regarding resolution 2025-007, canvassing the returns and declaring the results of the general election held November 4th, 2025, for the purposes of electing 3 city council members to the City Council of the Village of the Hills, Texas. Do we have a motion?
I'll motion.
Do we have a second? Are there any questions or discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? None. Motion carries. Congratulations, gentlemen. Okay. Discuss, consider, and take appropriate action regarding the Santa Back in the Hills Park event set for December 6th, 2 to 6 p.m. Marty, you want to do a quick run through of our event?
Sure. This is an event that's planned for December 6th. Time might be a little fluid, but I believe it's 2 to 5 right now pending Santa's confirmation. But Santa will be there, photographer will be there, cookies, milk, letters to Santa, big bounce house kind of thing. And the vendor that was sort of our, for lack of a better word, party planner, event day kind of coordinator for Hills City Limits is also helping us here. So total budget is $7,500. Parks and Rec is covering $3,000. The balance is coming from the Yak. Parks Commission voted last night to recommend to council to approve this event, and I very much agree. I think it's going to be a great event. Any questions?
We can make a motion second and then discuss any questions. Marty, are you going to move to approve your?
Yeah, so make a motion to approve the Santa event in the Hills Park on December 6th.
I'll second that.
Okay. Any questions or discussions? I guess because last year was a joint event between the Yak and the Park and Rec Commission, right? You were you here?
Last year, I don't think Parks really had anything to do with it last year. It was really a Yak thing.
Okay.
Do you know in the Hills Country Club, are they doing their Santa situation?
Oh, yeah.
When-
Theirs is definitely I'll double check, but I think it's later on a little bit in December, maybe the next week, but theirs is more like brunch.
Right. Just, yeah, cool. You got it.
But that is a good question. I'll look it up real quick.
So this, I probably should know this, but this is an annual event that the village does every year.
We did it last year. I'm not sure if we did it the year before that.
I think last year.
It was a pretty big
year.
hit last year, yeah.
And that's out of the predetermined budget.
Yeah, Parks had the 3,000, 3,500-ish already budgeted. Yeah, within its budget.
Any additional questions? All right, go for a vote. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? None. Motion carries. Looking forward to a wonderful event. Okay. Oh, moving back on to Welcome Commission. Discuss, consider, and take appropriate action regarding the application of Hayden Alvey for the Welcome Committee Commission. Has everybody had a chance to review Hayden's volunteer application?
Yeah.
You can look quickly. I will say that Hayden, I know personally, I know some of us know him personally. He's a very good person. He was on the POA previously. He's on his sub POA, HOA, I guess is what they're called, for his condos. He's also on the architectural committee, I still believe, for the POA, but he's been actively involved in the community for many, many years. And I think he'd be a good addition.
Yeah, I'll add that he's already, made some efforts to reach out to new residents. So, if you know him, you'd know that he would be an incredible addition to the Welcome Commission. He's also spent a lot of time on parks as well. He was instrumental in the parks movie night that was about 2 months ago. So, great guy, would be a really good addition to Welcome Commission. Very friendly and warm.
Yeah. I'll motion for that.
Excellent. Second,
Second.
any additional questions or discussions? Okay, all in favor? Aye. All opposed, none, motion carries. Okay, so now I would request that we
had item C, right?
move back to item C, discuss, consider, and take any necessary action to authorize an amended city administrator's contract. I think we can go ahead and move that now into executive session for some questions with legal. And again, item 8, discuss executive session. The mayor and city council may adjourn into executive session at any time during the course of this meeting to discuss any matters. Yeah, thank you. Listed on the agenda as authorized by the Texas Government Code, including but not limited to sections 551-017, consultation with an attorney. It is now 10:04 a.m. We are convening into executive session. And go. Oh, I don't know if that's the word.